Welcome to Dark Side Shorts, and today's episode, The Secret Australian Forest. We are going to start today's episode with something different, a story. Now, imagine if you went on a hike and found a glade of trees. They don't look quite like any tree you recognise, so you take a photo, or maybe a cutting. You share it online, and show it to experts trying to figure out what it is. Then one expert turns to you and asks you if it's a fake, a prank maybe. You say it isn't. You can take him to the exact place you found it, point it out on Google Earth. He then tells you this tree is 200 million years old and it shouldn't exist. It has been extinct for millions of years and has a lineage that dates back to the dinosaurs. This isn't the story though. This is the true tale of the dinosaur tree, the Wollemi Pine. The discovery of the pine in September 1994 by David Noble, who was hiking with friends, only occurred because the group had been systematically exploring the Wollemi National Park looking for new canyons and habitats. David Noble took specimens for identification, expecting someone to identify the mysterious new plants they had discovered. His specimens were eventually identified by botanists with the Australian National Parks and the Royal Botanical Gardens in Sydney. And so Australia's secret forest was born. Less than 100 pines, growing in a gorge approximately 150 kilometres or 93 miles from Sydney, with the discoverers not learning the full magnitude of their discovery for about 6 months. The species was subsequently named after David Noble. Fewer than 60 adult trees are believed to be growing wild, but it's very difficult to count individuals as the trees have a connected root system. After the discovery, the location was kept secret, and conservation efforts began. Thankfully, saplings proved to be easy to propagate and extremely hardy. So an unusual and experimental plan was enacted. Branch cuttings had been sent to botanic gardens around the world to the point they had acquired a surplus. It was decided commercial growers would be authorised to receive surplus cuttings to propagate and sell to their own customers. This unusual decision, it was hoped, would save the wild plants from poachers and ensured the plant became too widespread to go extinct. The first surplus cuttings being distributed by a lottery in Australia. The Wollemi Pine experiment is being watched with interest by national parks, botanical gardens and conservation groups across the world. Botanical gardens across Australia and then the world were entrusted with them. For example, in late 2023, 6 saplings were planted at the Forestry England National Pinetum, with a further 170 saplings being entrusted to the Forestry England Tree Nursery. Even the public can now buy Wollemi pines in Britain. For £98, you can buy a small sapling, or, if you have the money, for £199, a more mature specimen, a pattern repeated in over 31 countries. Thus ensuring the dinosaur tree is spread to almost every corner of the earth. If you desire to own one of your own, they can be kept as houseplants, in pots, on patios or balconies, and they can also be planted outside, though they can grow to 40 metres or 131 feet tall when fully mature. Young examples can be frost sensitive or damaged by strong winds. Evidence from botanical gardens in Scotland, though, suggests more mature examples can survive down to -7 degrees Celsius or 19 degrees Fahrenheit, while anecdotal evidence from around the world suggests they can tolerate temperatures down to -12 degrees Celsius or 10 degrees Fahrenheit. But, be warned, they are also susceptible to the Tortix moth caterpillar, who seem to have taken a liking to the plant, and young pines can also be damaged by rabbits, hares, deers or badgers, so it's best to surround them with chicken wire or some other protection until they are established. Generally, the species likes a climate that is temperate and has adequate year-round rainfall. Loamy soils with good drainage also proved to be ideal for successful growth, but the Wollemi pine almost didn't survive its discovery and conservation. Despite attempts to hide the wild tree's location, which I will not be revealing, illegal poaching became a problem. By 2005, park rangers found a virulent water mould had become established in the secret forest, believed to have been introduced by the large numbers of poachers and other unauthorised visitors who didn't follow preservation protocols. But that wasn't the only threat to the small wild population. The forest was endangered by the Australian bushfire season of 2019-20. The forest was saved by volunteer firefighters who installed an irrigation system as well as dropping flame retardant materials on the site from the air. Today, fewer than 60 adult Wollemi pines grow in the wild, though due to the pine's interlock root system, as we've mentioned before, even this number is debated. But thousands of pine cuttings are established in botanical gardens, private gardens, and as houseplants across the globe, ensuring this art population could re-establish the pine in the wild in the event of a disaster. Here's to the next 200 million years of the Wollemi pine. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and enjoy the rest of your day.